guys, what's up? It's Naisha and welcome back to my channel. So I decided to record this video before I finish getting undone for the evening. Still got my makeup on. I'm gonna take that off in just a little bit. But let's talk about ADN versus BSN nurses. So that's been quite a hot topic as of lately. And so I was like, let's chat. So I'm gonna have a little wine, honey, because like I said, I'm unwinding for the evening. So I am an ADN nurse. I have my associate's degree. I've been a nurse for it'll be 9 years in February. And I am currently going back to get my BSN. I have about 7 classes left. So hopefully I have it soon, y'all. I will have it soon. So, okay, let's talk about my experience first. Get that out the way. So for me, I don't feel like it's hindered me. I've been able to travel. I've been able to do agency nurses. I've been able to work in an array of fields, like in an array of specialties with my associate's degree. I think about, there's been 2 jobs that I interviewed for that I have not gotten in these since I've been a nurse for 9 years. So the first one was when I was right out of nursing school. I didn't even have my NCLEX. I hadn't even taken NCLEX yet. I went ahead and interviewed. It was a group interview. It was 4 of us. And I was like, I just want the experience. I went in thinking like, not that I didn't care, because I cared because I wanted to listen and learn. But I went in not expecting to get an offer, which I did not get. But it was a great learning experience. The next job was for an L&D position. And when I tell y'all, that lady was racist, that director that interviewed me, that girl was racist, child. And I'm not one to play the race card at all, but she was racist in it. When I tell y'all, when I left there, I wanted a shot, honey. I was like, I need a shot or something, because this lady didn't work my nerve. Those were the 2 positions that I did not get hired for, that I interviewed for. So in my experience, it has not completely hindered me like that. And then I also believe what's for me is for me. I've gotten positions in places where they're saying they prefer BSN, or they mostly want BSN nurses. I've gotten positions like that. Like, I've literally worked several hospitals here in Houston at the Med Center where it's supposed to only be only be BSN nurses. Like, no. So that's been my experience. Hasn't hindered me. But yeah, and I will tell you a few reasons why I don't believe it's hindered me. One, I have a pretty strong resume. So I took a resume writing class through the WorkSource. I don't know if you're in Texas, then you're probably familiar with Texas Workforce. If you're not, check them out, because they have a lot of resources, a lot. They help me pay for nursing school. They pay for my NCLEX. They pay for my background check. Pay for books, and that's 2 times. I went to school twice through the WorkSource. I went to become a pharmacy tech, where they paid for part of that they paid for. But great resource. Like, they have resume building classes that they host, and that I think is normally on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So definitely check them out. If not, Fiverr has people that does resumes for you. I think Etsy also. Like, there are resources to where you can build a strong resume. The next thing is to get your certifications. Use these people. Use them, because they're going to use you. Use them. They have education departments. Education offers a lot of certifications that you can take with you. They don't stay with their hospital. You take that with you. The other thing is, make that when you go into those interviews, this is another way that I feel like I have gotten hired at most jobs. I ask them questions. When I go for my interview, I'm gonna ask you questions. I have a list of 3 to 5 questions, depending on where I'm working at. I might have to tweak it a little bit, or where I'm interviewing at, I might have to tweak it a little bit. But I'm gonna ask you at least 3 questions. And when I tell you, you got to see them squirm, and some of them will even say out loud, "Oh wow, great question," or "Oh wow, no one's ever asked us that." And you could, just like you just watched me squirm while you put me in the hot seat, now you're in the hot seat. So yes, put them in the hot seat. Let them know you're not one to be played with. So when I come up in here and I know that I'm going to ask questions, okay? And then the other side, they like that because, oh, excuse me. The other part is that they like people that ask questions because they feel like when you come here to this hospital system, you're going to be an asset because you're going to be innovative and, you're going to ask those questions that need to be asked. You're going to speak up and you're going to be a leader. And believe it or not, they actually like that. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask them questions, boo. Some thought-provoking ones. The last interview for the job where I'm at now, that lady kept me on the phone for like 45 minutes for that interview. That interview should not have been that long. So when I went to orientation, I'm talking to some of the other nurses. I was like, that lady kept me on that phone for like 45 minutes talking to me. And they were like, what? Like, we weren't on the phone that long. Who you interview with? I'm like, that hush. They was like, that's why I interviewed with. We weren't on the phone that long. I was like, I don't know why she kept me on there for a while. And I knew it was because she wanted to hear more from me. So don't be afraid to ask questions and share your experiences with them and so forth. So that has been reasons why, that's been my experience. Those have been some of the reasons why I have not been hindered. But y'all share y'all's in the comments. Share y'all thoughts and experiences in the comments. Yeah, because this could actually help a lot of people. So let's get started. Okay, so ADN versus BSN. Some of the differences that I know. If I leave anything out, y'all come back and let me know. One, jobs. Like I said, it can hinder the certain jobs that you apply for, like those that are in the magnet hospitals, because they, like I said, they want a certain amount of BSN nurses versus ADN nurses. But does that mean you won't be hired or qualified to work there? Absolutely not. A lot of times it says prefer. But sometimes, depending on your experience as an ADN nurse, they'll take you over BSN nurse. A fresh BSN nurse, some of them feel like, oh, you know what, I can mold them a little better than I can a seasoned nurse. But a lot of them, they be like, we don't have people like that to train. So we need somebody that got the experience where we only doing a little bit of molding. So you can have an up on them like that, okay? But can it be a hindrance? Absolutely, absolutely can. Not gonna lie to you, it really can. Next thing, going into management. That's one of the biggest hindrances when it comes to ADN versus BSN. A lot of times you will not be able to go into management without your BSN. Have I seen ADN nurses in management? Absolutely, I have. It happens. Now, does it happen often? I can't say that it does. But it happens, and I have seen them, okay? But if you want to get into those management roles, you at least have to have a BSN. That is normally the minimum. Salary. Baby, let's talk about this money, honey. Money. Shout out to Cardi B, y'all. But let's talk about this money. Okay. So there used to not be a huge difference between ADN versus BSN when it came to money, supposedly. But in my research, I found that it's about a $15,000 to $20,000 difference a year in pay when it comes to ADN versus BSN nurses. Again, with that comes when it comes to experienced nurses. Experienced nurses, not so much. You can typically negotiate your pay and you'll get more on the higher side as an ADN nurse. I personally have done that. I have negotiated my money, honey. Because guess what? I feel like I'm worth it. So you're going to feel like I'm worth it. So you're going to give me what I asked for or close to it. So here's the thing when it comes to negotiating your pay. A lot of us color folks, myself included, we used to feel like we can't really negotiate pay. Like we have to accept whatever they want to offer us. No, you don't. If you feel like there's something that's too low for you, counter them. This will thank you for the offer, but I would feel more comfortable if we could start here. The worst thing they're gonna tell you is no. That's it. And then they'll give you a counter back. I literally just walked away almost a year ago from a position. It would have been good. It would have been a good position. because I still work over there through agency, but I get paid more. But it was a 30-cent difference, and those people were not budging. And I was like, if you won't give me 30 cents, when it comes time for a raise, you're not going to give me nothing for that. And come to find out, they don't give you much of a raise. So when it comes to pay, yeah, there's a difference between ADN and BSN. But if you're a more seasoned nurse, you can negotiate a little better, get higher pay. Are they winning out ADN and BSN nurses? I mean, ADN nurses for BSN nurses? Yes and no. And this is why I say yes and no. No, they're not just kicking you out if you have your associate's degree. Excuse me. What they're doing is saying, hey, the hospital is moving towards a magnet status. We need to have a certain amount of nurses that have their BSN. We're giving ADN nurses this amount of time to get in school and get your BSN. With that, they're also paying. They're also reimbursing you some of their money. They're not just kicking you out the door, which I think is great. Most hospitals do that. Most hospitals give you 2 years. At least most of the ones that I've worked at and know, they give you at least 2 years to get your BSN. And then after that, you got to go talk to the people and tell them what's happening. But yeah, so those are the major differences that I have found when it comes to ADN versus BSN. Y'all tell me in the comments the differences that y'all know or experienced. I'd love to hear that. Like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.